So with that being said, let's jump into the demonstration. I'm going to first show a few self-defense applications from some of the martial arts that I teach. Joining me is friend Tom Beaver, who has also studied some of these same martial arts for many decades as well. And what I'm going to show now is not very flashy, it's not like what you'll see in the movie, it's not what you're going to see in sports, but these are some techniques that I personally have had to use in real altercations in the past. So the first one I'm going to show is against a haymaker, as it's so called. John, will you show what a haymaker looks like for an untrained opponent? So an untrained person might come around with a round punch like that, and what it might look like, a defense to that might look like this. So the idea is, what you're doing is you're stopping the force from the point where it moves. So the thing is, if I hold his shoulder here, no matter how hard he pushes, he's not able to actually complete that punch. It's as if you had a baseball bat and you have the skinny end of the bat rubber banded to the wall. You can't move the bat, and it's the same concept here. Hopefully you don't have to hit the other guy, but he's already hitting you. The second thing we're going to show is, was taught to me by an undercover cop at a police department in San Diego County. I had to use it in a real altercation just a few months later, actually. It's called the badge grab. You think they're a police officer, they wear a badge, and what happens is the bad guy might actually be grabbing them by the badge. And so what Tom here is doing, he's grabbing my shirt. And though it looks like I'm only doing a little bit of motion, it actually causes a great deal of pain in the recipient's wrist. If you imagine taking your wrist and bending it this way, that's what's happening. Okay, the third defense I'm going to show is against an overhead attack with a weapon. While there obviously are transferable skills that come from sports martial arts training that can be used in the real world, something that is rare to find in the sports martial arts curriculum is training against weapons. So here, out of respect for Brooklyn Boulders, I'm using a plastic bottle. You could imagine that it's a glass bottle, a beer bottle at a bar. It could be a knife, it could be a club. Read the New York Post any day, and you'll find a selection of weapons. So what's going to happen here is Tom's going to come with an overhead attack with this weapon. So the idea is, what I'm doing is I'm stepping to the side, I'm parrying, using his momentum to keep the momentum going that way, and the hope, because you don't want to fight somebody with a weapon, because they're automatically more powerful. So the hope is that once you escape the momentum of that weapon, you have a path to exit, if you're able to. So all that being said, now we're going to show a couple other demonstrations for folks who are more into some of the traditional aspects of training. With a higher level of body conditioning. This is not typical for most people in the dojo. This is for people who are fanatical like me and they want to do everything. So what we're going to show is some high level of body conditioning. We're going to break this wood off my body. And the first one, as a practical application, you might wonder. So what's going to happen is Tom's going to break this wood on my thigh, he's going to break one on my arm, and we're going to show one other form of conditioning, or body conditioning, that will speak for itself when you see it. But if you might think about a practical application, if you're facing an opponent who is hitting you as hard as he can, and you're just smiling at him, that's the kind of demoralizing aspect that could happen. So, for example, in the UFC, you'll see a lot of guys, they like to do these round kicks to the thigh. So that's why the first one we'll show is a demonstration against the thigh. The next one will be on my outstretched arm like this. final level of conditioning is actually maybe not really conditioning. Sometimes we'll use stances to protect ourselves in ways that may not be obvious to other people. So I posted this video on my dojo's Instagram, and it got a lot of shares, we'll put it that way. It looks like I'm getting hit in the groin. In reality, the inner thighs and the muscles of the inner thighs are protected, so you never actually get hit. But the idea is that when you have good stance, you isolate certain parts of your body. So you notice with the conditioning I have in my legs and the ability to protect my groin, I no longer have to worry about what a bad guy might do down here. I only have to worry about how to protect my